Hey everyone, and welcome back to my Daily News X. Well, I'm your host Kramer, and today we're diving into a high-stakes meeting that's got the world watching very closely. Yes, so I'm talking about the big meeting between U.S. and China talks happening today in Malaysia. Now, I know what you're thinking. Another trade meeting again. But trust me, this one is very different. It's not just about economics. It's about power, technology, and the global balance that affects every one of us. So, what's happening in Malaysia as we speak? Well, senior officials from the United States and China have met in Kuala Lumpur to discuss how to come what's becoming a heated trade standoff between these two big countries. President Donald Trump and China's leader Xi Jinping are expected to meet soon today. These Malaysia talks are basically the last big step before the summit. Now, what's the goal here in this meeting, if you want to take a guess? Well, it's about avoiding a full-blown trade war between these two major markets. So the US is concerned about China's tight grip on rare earth minerals, those critical materials used in smartphones, electric cars, and even missile systems. Meanwhile, on the other side, China is frustrated with American export bans on advanced chips and tech products that power the industries. Yes. So that's what's going on, guys. This is the main reasons why there's concerns and issues that are affecting both countries, and they need to sit on the table and talk about this today. So this isn't just another trade chat, all right? Just want to get that out of the way. It's about who controls the future of technology. Now, why this meeting matters for most. Well, let's break it down why this meeting is such a big deal, and that way we can understand better the situation and what's going on with these two countries. So both nations rely heavily on each other more than they would like to admit, unfortunately. But that's what it is. The US depends on Chinese manufacturing and supply chains. China, on the other hand, depends on US markets and technologies. And it's big in that too as well. So think about this. If these talks fail, that means both economies, and by extension, the global economy could take a serious, very serious hit and turn around. Think about higher prices, delayed products, and more instability in industries from automobiles to consumer electronics. Also, so now we're going to talk about the main reason behind these talks and what they're doing at this moment. As a heart, this meeting is about control and cooperation. Yes, it's very simple. Control and cooperation. Both sides are trying very hard to find a middle ground and how to protect their national interests while keeping the trade doors very open or just enough to keep the world economy running. Yes. The US wants China to stop restricting American companies and to play fair in technology trade. Now, on the other side, China wants Washington to ease his export restrictions and also to stop blocking Chinese firms from accessing American tech. Could be a little bit tricky because this must be, it could take place, for espionage, and I think the United States is being very cautious about giving more information to China, but we'll see what happens. It's like two superpowers saying we don't want to fight, but we also don't want to lose. Now, what are the pros and cons after this meeting? What's going to be the outcome of all this? So I want to talk about it in this segment. I explain to you what's going to be the output, after the meeting is done. One of the things that can happen is if the meeting ends positively, so we may see a lower trade tensions, which could stabilize stock markets and improve investors' confidence, which is very good. I'm hoping for something comes out of this. It could also help keep prices down on goods that depend on international supply chains, like cars, phones, and electronics, and whatever's coming from China else. And of course, it also might rebuild a bit of trust between two of the world's largest economies. So if you think about it, these are big countries, different economies, but they share each other's, economy. So they need help from each other. What are the cons? If talks stall or break down, both nations could double down on tariffs and export restriction. That would mean higher consumer prices, slower tech development, and even layoffs in export-heavy industries. Political, it will make cooperation on issues like climate and change and security a lot harder. Yeah, so this could stall a little bit, and we'll have to we'll have to stop and think about it in future meetings for that. So who's gonna feel the impact of this? So something to think about it. Well, pretty much everyone, but some more difficult than others, of course. Manufacturers who depend on Chinese parts, tech companies that need semiconductors, and software exchanges between both countries. Not only one, but both countries. Another sector is going to be very affected. It's going to be the farmers and exporters. Yes, because they rely very a lot on open trade routes. So if this doesn't, or they don't get a deal, so there might be a few changes on the routes, from China to the U.S. and other countries. And yes, everyday consumers, because when trade costs rise, so do the prices on the store shelves. Even global markets in Europe and Asia will feel the ripple. Oh yes, Europe, Africa, they're not safe. This is gonna, make changes, and it's gonna affect you guys as well. This is one of those when giants move, the world shakes moments, Now, just to wrap this up, what do I think about all this, and what is my personal thoughts on this? But as we wait for the official outcomes, one thing is very clear, guys. This Malaysia meeting isn't just about trade. It's about trust, power, and the future of global cooperation and dominance. The US and China might not become best friends anytime soon. And no, I get it, I understand. But both know that a stable relationship is better than a trade war that nobody wins. Yeah, if you think about it. You keep fighting, nobody's going to win at the end. So yes, will Malaysia be the turning point that cools tensions? Or just another chapter in the world's most complicated economy rivalry? Well, we'll be watching closely right here on my Daily News X. Thanks for coming in. Don't forget to follow and subscribe for your daily world updates, explained simply and clearly. I'm your host, Kramer, and this was my Daily News X. See you on the next one. Have yourself a great day.